Hey everybody, what is going on? I am Maximus Rex and this is Big Baby Reviews. Today's Dale Keown Day, so we'll be looking at the next issue in his Incredible Hulk run. Before we do though, I do want to mention real quick, we here at Big Baby Reviews are on the road to 250 subs. It's kind of the first small milestone we'd like to hit, so please, if you are viewing and enjoying our videos and you're not subscribed yet, please do so below by hitting the subscribe button. You know how that works. It would be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much if you do. It helps our channel grow and helps get it out there to hopefully other people who have the same common interests as all of us who are here right now. So without further ado, let's move on to the Incredible Hulk issue 375, cover dated November 1990. First things first, as a Hulk cover, I think it definitely fits the bill. We've got some dynamic action, the Hulk looking mean and angry, and here he's in combat with the Super Skrull. If you don't know about the Super Skrull, real quick, he has the combined powers of the Fantastic Four, so the Thing's strength, the fire from Johnny Storm, he can stretch out like Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, and he also can become rather invisible, just not showing off that particular power right here, right now. He's also a Skrull, so he can shapeshift as we've seen in prior issues. So the cover itself, again, great dynamic image. I like the use of screen tone in the background here, right? This is kind of something that died off in the 90s, but that's slowly coming back with comic makers using kind of more nostalgic techniques, I guess, but usually in a digital way, which is great. I've seen some comics that look awesome, that have that vintage look, and it's all been done digitally. It's very effective. So without further ado, great cover, and we're going to move on to the interiors. Let's have a look inside. So we start off with a nice big splash page establishing where we are, obviously on some Skrull ship here. I like the way Dale Keown draws the Skrulls, here. He sticks to that idea that their heads are kind of big. So like he's slightly exaggerated, maybe more so than other artists, a little bit cartoonier, but I think it looks great. And the inking doesn't totally kill the Keown here. It's pretty good overall on these foreground figures, I think. Pretty close to what he probably laid down, but still we're seeing a bit of that Byrne-esque type finish from, late 70s, early 80s Marvel Comics. But all in all, a great establishing splash page. We got Peter David writer, Dale Keown penciler, Bob McLeod inker, Joe Rosen letter, and Glynis Oliver colors. So at least since I think Dale Keown came onto this, the creative team has not changed. So what I do feel we're slowly getting here, we still have kind of that mid-shot kind of storytelling, panels at least, but within the panels we're getting more close-ups of the faces and the expressions, which Dale Keown, I've mentioned before, is awesome at. Textures and stuff too, I think he's doing really well here. The musculature, and the as opposed to the Thing's rocky texture here and the shadowing, and making it very kind of varied as far as the height of all the rocks on his arm and stuff. I think that it makes it look even cooler, basically. And yeah, the layouts too, the slightly lower number of panels now. I think slowly but surely we're moving towards that image style. And again, from Dale Keown, we're still getting great facial expressions from the Skrulls, from the human characters. This page is a good example of his mastery of that. Still kind of slow in the storytelling, but hey, some more great face shots here. Something Keown does, some other artists have done it as well, is put the eyes really far apart. Now, when the Hulk's going to merge all together, because that's a storyline that's kind of we're moving towards, when he's going to merge together into one, I feel like the eyes are slow, maybe not the beginning, but slowly are going to start moving closer together. So he looks a little more human and not quite as monstrous. But I guess that's why Dale Keown's doing that here, the really far apart. Maybe John Byrne was the kind of the first one to do that, and Dale Keown's maybe, again, very influenced by Byrne, so kind of just following his lead here. Oh, I think he may have done it in other issues prior to this, but we're starting to get the Dale Keown spittle, stalactite, stalagmite stickiness, which he uses for mostly rageful, monstrous characters, which makes sense, and I think it's a nice touch. That's a very 90s touch. I feel like that wasn't used so much until in around the early 90s, and Dale Keown may have been the first, probably not, but may have been the first, and he's kind of discovered it, and he's using it everywhere. I like how he's doing it here too. Let's pay attention if there's a lot of connecting spittle in this issue. So here we get a pretty, again, boring mid-80s Marvel shot. I do like this insert of the head here. Like, I'm telling the story. I like that. It's kind of cute and a trope from an older time is, I guess, how I put it. But it's cool. Here's where it starts getting good, though, right? You can tell right away with these pages. Smaller panels create that rhythm, right? Changing into the Hulk, all that stuff. Building the tension. And then, again, we're not quite at the full splash pages with these kind of cool hero shots, but that's a cool hero shot if I've ever seen one. Hulk looks great. Inking's still a little too clean for my taste, or at least not keying enough. But I do like how he's used the Super Skrull stretchy members. Hopefully that's his arm. I think it is. Yeah, the hand's there. Whew. Whatever member that is, he's used it to create those planes in the image, right? So if you've just got the Hulk standing on the fence, you've got two planes, which, you know, creates a certain sense of depth and dimension. But if you add these, he's basically kind of, because of the overlaps and stuff, drawing wise, when you're thinking about this, so you've got this and you've got an overlap here. So this is almost not just one plane, but two. You could argue it's one, but because of the overlap, it's almost two. That here then overlaps this one here. Then we got this one overlapping here, right? And all of those are creating planes. So we're understanding that, you know, the hand and of the Hulk is a plane forward to the rest of his body. And, you know, if I had to kind of count it down real quick, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planes instead of kind of the 2 if we didn't have this thing here. So he's really used that to great effect to create those different planes and that sense of dimensionality and depth in the image. Always respect the outward flaring lines, dynamism lines. I don't know what we call those either. You know, the idea you pick a vanishing point and you just kind of use it here as well. I always think that's a cool effect. It's a fun effect. I like using it myself. Kirby crackle here as well, though not, I mean, I've seen better Kirby crackle, to be honest. Not quite as dense as it should be, maybe. But some good pages. And now we're back to kind of a more, you know, relaxed kind of storytelling. We do have the 90s vertical panel though here. Not sure how often Dale Keane used it, but, you know, we're seeing it here. It's a trope that we're going to see across all the comics I review from the early 90s. Pretty sure. I'll try to point it out in the other reviews with the other artists. Now, just this part here, I guess, you know, to really make it seem like the Super Skrull is angry and the shadows here work pretty well here. But here's an example of where maybe it doesn't work so well because of the printing technique at that time. A lot of the black would fuzz out a little bit on smaller details. So I just find the face here gets lost a little bit, and some of the Hulk here with too much of the black here, and that's not the fault of the artist, it's the fault of the printing methods at the time. It tends to just blur a little bit, right, when you've got big masses of black. Always loved this ad, eh, back in the day. Looked like a fun game. Don't know if I ever got to play it. And here we've got Dale Keane, again, using some cool layouts and techniques and to make this scene more dynamic than some of the other storytelling rather we've been seeing in this issue. So that's a great shot of the Hulk that we got here. This is kind of funny somehow, I guess, the Super Skrull being pushed out. Here we've got another use of that parallel line diagonal screen tone here that I think is cool. But again, man, how John Byrne is all of this, right? Like Captain America here. I think that's kind of the clearest shot we get in this whole issue of him. Because, of course, he is the Super Skrull, right? So Super Skrull has all, I guess because of the shape-shifting powers, he can also grow wings. Or is this a Super Skrull? Am I mistaken? It could just be a regular Skrull. Again, I'm not that invested in the story, so I'm not quite sure. The art, though, I think looks great. See, here's another example where a lot of darks with the printing just muddies the art a little bit. I mean, this is great. If you look close, you can see kind of that, you know, some really good feathering. Hatching was done, but it gets lost. A lot of the cooler, tighter aspects of the art get lost. And again, other than this, you know, kind of conflict with the Super Skrull, not that much is interesting in this issue. But I guess slowly but surely we are on the road to getting to issue 377, which is where I'm pretty sure that's the issue where all the Hulks merge together, and I feel like from there is where things start to really kick off with the art. Did want to mention, though, on this last page here, we're introduced to Rick Jones's girlfriend, Marlo Chandler. I'm his girlfriend, clearly stated, so it's obvious. Just want to say that Dale Keown's doing a really bang-up great job at drawing the ladies. And this is a pretty good example of it here. Maybe the best example we've seen to date on the run. We'll see more of it, obviously. So there you have it. Issue 375, kind of middle of the road, once again, issue. You know, we're slowly inching forward. You've seen some of the cool dynamic shots in here, some almost splash pagey kind of shots of the Hulk, slowly moving towards the peak Keown is what I'd call it, as I call it for other artists, this period that I prefer most. So if you have any questions or comments about this issue, things you'd like me to know that I didn't mention, or little things that I didn't notice, please let me know. Feel free to write in. I'll try to answer you as best as I can. Hope everyone out there, after watching this video, has an awesome day.
Like, subscribe, like, subscribe.
King Comics presents Big Baby, Volume 1, Issues 1 to 13, 204 pages of story and art. King Comics also presents Star Crasher one-shot, 32 pages, cosmic sci-fi surrealist adventure. You can find these fine comics at KingComics.CA, at MaximusRex13 on Instagram, or on Facebook, MaxRex or Big Baby.